In this video, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about taking the best Instagram photos, from locations and posing to finding your aesthetic and looking confident in your pictures, how to edit both my Instagram posts and stories. This video has you covered. Definitely do not have to fit yourself into a certain category for what type of feed or photos you want, what kind of style you want to wear.
There are so many different types of aesthetics. Here are a few. Indie girls, dark academia, the Pinterest girl, alt girls, streetwear, hippie aesthetic, trendy and funky, classy.
Going on to Pinterest, make yourself an account if you don't have one, search up that aesthetic and just start pinning things that you like. Once you got your aesthetic nailed down, I would suggest following as many people as you can in that niche. 3/4, if not more, of the people that I follow are actually like influencers and bloggers. They're just the style that I like to have. And when you surround yourself with things that inspire you all the time, you kind of just morph into it. It's taken me a while to perfect my makeup routine, but I finally created a routine that not only looks good in photos, but makes me feel the most confident. I'm gonna list all the products down below. I'm not gonna go in depth in what I'm doing because I swear I do this in every single video. You can literally watch my last one and I have a makeup tutorial in it. When I take my photos, I definitely put a lot more makeup on than the everyday look, just because it looks better in photos. Some of the things I like to focus on is bronzer and contour. It makes me look a lot more tanned and defines my features. I also love using eyeshadow and eyeshadow as eyeliner, as it makes my eyes stand out and have a more winged effect. And as of recently, I started using a lot more lip products, and I think it really makes a big difference. I just use lip liner, lip glosses, and then moving on to hair, I'm just curling it with the Conair Infinity Pro wand. I just make sure to put some hairspray in and then I'm done. This is obviously a very important step, but not necessarily a make or break step. People are always commenting, I wish I could dress like this, but I don't have the money. Go to just the thrift store and get your whole closet from there. Not only will it be super trendy because all the styles from the past are coming back, you'll also be very original and unique because no one else will have the same pieces as you. When I'm trying to pick out an outfit, normally I'll pick one statement piece and then pick my outfit around it. Have really good basics and then don't spend that much on trendy pieces because they do go out of style. By this I mean you can invest in nice black and white t-shirts. I also think cardigans are a great piece because you can wear them open, you can wear it like around your shoulders. Black and white turtlenecks are also great for layering. The more that you layer, it makes your outfit look better. Some of my favorite pants are just, of course, a plain pair of blue jeans. These are asymmetrical ones from Princess Polly, but I also love any jeans that Zara sells, and I also have a really good pair of Shein jeans that I wear all the time. I also have this cream pair that is from Brandy Melville. Some of my go-to jackets are just leather jackets, leather blazers, or I really love this like Sherpa long coat. As for trendy pieces that you don't need to spend that much money on, I'm obsessed with sweater vests. I also love patterned sweaters, zebra pants. I've seen so many people wear them. And then as for accessories, jewelry just makes everything better. I used to not wear jewelry because I thought simplicity was better, but I was so wrong. It just takes it to the next level. And even if you're not that comfortable wearing jewelry yet, or like you think it looks weird on you, or it just looks like too much, try it. I bet you're gonna like it. It just takes some time getting used to. Bags are always an option. These furry tote bags are adorable, and you can also accessorize with a hat. For shoes, I highly recommend having like a white pair and maybe a black pair. My favorite are Air Forces or high top chunky white Converse. And then I love Doc Martens. They're so cute. The key to a good photo is location. Honestly, even if your outfit is cute, your makeup is cute, the individual photo can still look nice, but if you are trying to go for like a cohesive feed when you're looking at it, which does help if you're trying to grow your Instagram, having backgrounds that you know are gonna fit with your other pictures are really important. For example, if you're going for a green feed, you can make sure that your photos are kind of in front of some trees, and not the dead ones, but the nice green ones. The feed is very neutral. You would know that your pictures are mainly gonna be beside like blank or cream walls or like cream buildings. Some of my favorites are definitely car parks. Normally there's nobody there, so it's really good for like shooting if you're embarrassed or kind of like awkward. Escalators and elevators are so fun. Supermarkets even. And also just plain mirror selfies, blank wall on the back. Photos in the city, I think those turn out so cool. Before you go on a photo shoot, you should go on TikTok or Instagram and search up like hashtag pose ideas. Just look at the photos that you like and see what kind of poses that they're doing. Screenshot them and bring them with you when you go take your photos so you can kind of like mimic the same poses. A lot of people sometimes say like, I don't have anyone to take photos of me. Really ask your mom, ask your sibling, that's not an option. Ask a friend, that's not an option. Take self-timer photos. There's always an option. I'm going to show you 3 different days that I went to go take photos and how I took them and what I did to take those. I'm here with Jacob. For today's picture, we decided that we're going to go to Valley Village, which is a thrift store, and like the outside of it's just like beige, so I think we're just gonna take some photos on a blank wall. I just picked this out and then I picked my outfit based on this. So far, this is the wall. I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Honestly, it's not really my favorite, and when picking a location, I think that's one of the most important things in taking a photo. You can edit out the back, but when it's like so bad or the lighting is wrong, there's really not much you can do to fix it. I think we're gonna go to a different parking garage. We just got to our location. My phone's like about to die.
You're not charging it?
I was. It's at 24%.
Oh,
so thinking that this time we can probably use this wall right here. But normally what I do when I get to a location and I'm deciding what looks good, I'll grab my camera and I'll just try out a bunch of different angles and see what it looks like. Go like this or see if it looks better this way. This looks really good. Ooh, this looks good. Yeah, so I'll take some photos. Look how cool this looks. Like it's like all beige.
Bro, take some more, yo.
Since I'm the photographer in this moment, I'll show you guys what I do, but I'm gonna use his phone actually. Do you want me to use mine? My phone's at 20%. Yours is the 11.
Yours is better.
It's
Yours
fine.
is the 12.
If you're doing outfit pictures, definitely go from further away. I think it looks better, but you need to show it off and get the full outfit in its glory. Also, it's all about the angle. Do not shoot too high because you look really short, and especially if you're short, good tip is to shoot from like a lower angle like this because it makes you look taller. You're taking a picture of a boy or with a boy or someone that is not as good at posing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Not that you're bad at posing, but
I'm learning from the best.
Exactly. It's hard if you aren't used to it to start posing around. Act natural, just kind of walk around. It's really good if you're taking like walking photos and then the person that's taking them can just click the button. Eventually, you'll get a good one out of it. A lot of photos turn out really good when your face isn't even in it. Like when you're looking down or you're looking back or you're adjusting your hair. Hopefully you come with someone that doesn't embarrass you or like makes you feel bad for taking so many photos and like doesn't mind taking them of you, because that is the worst. You can take them on my phone.
Oh, so now you get your phone.
Obviously. Okay, we're done. It's freezing now, but we've taken so many photos. My phone literally doesn't even have any more storage. You can see here, there's like so many. Spammed that button. I have officially planned out all my outfits. I literally have so much stuff in this car. Look at all the bags and all the clothes that I have back there. All the shoes and the purses that I have here. I really like all the outfits, and a lot of it is with new clothes that I recently just got, so I'm so excited to start wearing all of it. Yay! The amount of stuff we have. Our first location is a parking garage. It's like an outdoor one.
So my outfit for our first shoot is actually all from Yes Style.
What's your Yes Style code?
Rosie123.
So use Rosie123 to get a discount at Yes Style. They have such cute stuff.
So it is.
Beautiful. I'm wearing this hat. It is from Princess Polly. Shirt is from Aritzia. I have these pants. They're like asymmetrical, but they're like way too big on me, so we're gonna pretend that we don't see that. Princess Polly. Got some Converse. Brown bag. That's from Brandy.
As many poses as you can,
Yeah.
so then you can get like all different variety of photos. Like, don't be too stiff, because I feel like I used to do that a lot, and I would just kind of stand there and do like one pose, and I would just like literally be so weird. Loosen up and then find a friend that you feel like comfortable with.
If you're the one taking the photo, make sure you're like tapping on the person and maybe like even clean the camera to make sure it's like
Oh my
super
gosh,
clean.
yeah.
There's no like little fuzzies or whatever.
Also check different lighting.
And now a quick word from our sponsor, Skillshare. If you don't already know, Skillshare is an online learning community for creatives to take classes on topics like illustration, photography, and filmmaking. All of the classes can be tailored to fit your schedule, and most classes are under 60 minutes. The website is cured for learning, so there are no ads on the website, and they are constantly launching new classes for you to explore. A class that I really like that I think matches well with this video is the portrait photography, how to shoot and edit Instagram-worthy shots with Jessica Kobesi. In this class, she teaches you how to plan your shoot, how to take photos, and how to edit on Adobe Photoshop. Having really good quality photos goes hand in hand with growing on Instagram, so I highly recommend taking this course if you're interested in that. Skillshare is less than $10 a month of the premium subscription, and the first 1,000 subscribers to click the link in my description will get a free trial of the premium membership to explore your creativity. And let's get back to taking some photos. Just got to our second location. It is this building. I don't really know what this is. It's so cold.
This is all Yes Style again. Just have a pleated shirt, this sweater vest, boots from Shein.
This is supposed to be a sponsored post for Princess Polly, but everything is too small for me. I'm gonna make it work. But the back is really cute. Okay,
So
these
cute.
pants are so tight on me.
We'll see how
I'm
these
gonna
ones
wear
turn out.
my-
Yeah, it's so. My hand was like shaking while holding your phone.
We're freezing. Our hands are like blue. I think we took so many cute photos, so that's all that matters, really, at the end of the day. Actually currently wearing a sweatsuit that I just unboxed yesterday, and it's from 437. I'm a 437 partner, and I have to post an Instagram, but I'm gonna take a photo today. Not gonna involve my face, so even though it is getting kind of dark now, I'm hoping that it won't be a problem. This is currently how we're taking photos. My mom is my photographer. I'm doing it in my car because it's dark out, basically. Okay, I think we're good with the pictures. I'm literally freezing. Hope the photos turned out good. Honestly, I feel like they did, and like with some editing, like, you know, filtering and stuff, I feel like I could lower the exposure, like all that stuff. Last photo I'm going to take is an Instagram story, and a lot of you guys ask how I take such aesthetic stories. I edit them the same way as I edit my regular photos, so you'll see that at the end. You just need to take pictures of everything. Anything that you see is pretty cute. The trees, the food that you're eating, that's like a really easy one. I take so many stories of food, and people are probably concerned why I eat so much. Or your outfit of the day. I think this is really fun to do because it makes you see the beauty in everything. Like, you and your friends could just be having breakfast, and then I look at it and I'm like, oh my god, this would be such a good Instagram story, and then I took a picture like this and it ended up being the cutest story. I take pride in my Instagram stories. So, you know, if you want to go check them out, you're more than welcome to. I have a whole board called stories. That's what helps me the most. If you just watch what everybody else is doing, you kind of see what types of photos they take. Then when you are in that situation, could possibly take a photo that looks similar to like what they did. I will get like a flashback and be like, oh yeah, I remember somebody took an Instagram story like this, and then I'll do it. Or sometimes they'll write like little emojis or like little words or like the timestamp, and I've seen other people do it, therefore I'm like learning from them, and then I'll do it, if that makes sense. We've all been waiting for how I edit my Instagram photos. All I use is the Visco tools. I just drag my finger along the bottom, and then I favorite the ones that I think are cute and that I want to edit. Once it's on Visco, I just go to the tools at the bottom. Obviously, every single photo is different. I don't have an exact number that I normally do. I just kind of see because it depends on the photo and how the lighting is looking, but I'm going to show you generally what my rule of thumb is. I'm going to start off by going in exposure. I always go down a little bit. Contrast, always go down a little bit. Sharpen, go up a little bit. And then saturation is a big one. Honestly, saturation, I tried doing the like neutral tones, but I am a vibrant person and I like being vibrant. So I do this pretty high up until I'm happy with how it looks. I look like I'm bronzed and my nails look good and my drink looks good. Then I go into tone, and it's taking the highlights and the shadows up and way up. So normally with highlights, I go normally like halfway, and then shadows I do a little bit as well. And then I go into white balance. I normally like my photos more orangey, so I'll do that a little bit. And then green, go up a little bit. And then my favorite thing is the HSL tool. This is something that you need with the paid Visco app. If you're like me and take so many photos and edit so many photos, I think it's worth it. Go through every single color that this photo has and put up the saturation, put down the saturation, etc. And I think this is great if you're taking a photo, for example, in a white background, but there's like a yellow tint. You can grab the yellow and desaturate it all the way, and all the yellow will be taken out of that photo. The before and the after. Before, after, copy, edits, paste it to the rest of my photos. There are presets that you can use, and I do like using the Nitsan Raiders presets. Did use her presets for these photos. This makes them very like neutral, but like I said, I like a very saturated look, so I only used it on a few of my photos. Don't know if it's worth the price really. With Facetunes, I use the detailing app, and I'll always go and detail my jewelry or my drink or my phone, my nails. Makes them stand out and makes your photo, I think, look a lot more high quality. The patch tool, I'm gonna click on it, use the patch tool, and just get rid of that. As for retouch, I do think you have to pay for this app, but I think it's so worth it if you're really trying to go for this professional photo look. Basically, you can just take things away and it works so well. Like if there's a human in the back of your photo and you don't want that person there, you can just retouch the whole thing out. So like this, press go, and it completely takes it away. Sometimes it doesn't work, but you just have to play around with it, and it's honestly so good. Highly recommend. I do this all the time on my photos when I'm taking them outside and there's like gum on the floor or there's like stains on the wall or like moss. If you are trying to grow your Instagram, I highly suggest posting a lot of stories. Instagram is trying so hard to make reels a thing. If you post them, you probably will grow a lot of followers just because they're trying to push out a lot of creators that are using reels. Follow my Pinterest because I have so many pins that you guys can use as inspiration, and the ones that I use for myself as inspiration. So follow my Instagram, post so many stories a day. My TikTok as well, they're all under Fernanda Ramirez with 2 A's in my last name. Subscribe if you haven't already, turn post notifications on. I love you guys, and I'll see you very shortly.